Long before Rome became the master of vast territories stretching across 3 continents, its leaders understood a simple truth that many armies overlooked. Victory was not achieved through bravery alone. Courage was important, but courage without discipline often led to disaster. The Roman military developed a system that transformed ordinary citizens into highly effective soldiers capable of performing extraordinary tasks. Every recruit who joined the legions quickly learned that obedience, routine, and teamwork mattered just as much as skill with a sword. This philosophy shaped every aspect of military life and became the foundation upon which Rome built its power. For a Roman soldier, discipline began long before any battle was fought. New recruits were subjected to rigorous training that tested both their physical strength and mental endurance. They marched long distances carrying heavy equipment, practiced combat drills repeatedly, and learned to follow orders instantly. Roman commanders believed that hesitation could destroy an army. Every movement had to become second nature. Whether constructing a camp, forming a battle line, or responding to an attack, soldiers were expected to act without confusion. Through constant repetition, discipline became deeply ingrained in every legionary. Unlike many ancient armies that relied heavily on temporary warriors or tribal fighters, Rome maintained a professional military force. Soldiers spent years serving in the legions, allowing commanders to build units that operated with remarkable precision. Each man understood his responsibilities and trusted the soldiers beside him to perform theirs. This level of coordination gave Roman armies a significant advantage over opponents who often lacked the same structure. When thousands of soldiers worked together under a single system, they could accomplish tasks that seemed impossible to outsiders. One of the clearest examples of Roman discipline appeared at the end of every day's march. After traveling across difficult terrain for hours, most armies would have collapsed into rest as soon as they reached their destination. Roman soldiers did the opposite. Instead of relaxing, they immediately began constructing a fortified camp. Even after exhausting marches, there were no excuses and no delays. Orders were given, tools were collected, and work started at once. This routine was followed so consistently that it became an automatic part of military life. The construction process itself demonstrated an extraordinary level of organization. Engineers first surveyed the chosen ground and marked the layout of the camp. Soldiers then divided into assigned groups, each responsible for a specific task. Some dug defensive ditches around the perimeter. Others piled the excavated earth into protective embankments. Additional teams erected wooden palisades, secured entrances, and prepared internal roads. Every action was carefully coordinated. There was no wasted effort because each soldier knew exactly where he belonged and what he was expected to accomplish. To an observer unfamiliar with Roman methods, the speed of construction would have appeared almost unbelievable. Thousands of men moved across the landscape with a sense of purpose that resembled a well-organized machine. There was little shouting, little confusion, and little need for constant supervision. Years of training had taught the soldiers how to perform their duties efficiently. The camp seemed to rise from the earth itself as ditches deepened, walls appeared, and defensive positions took shape within a matter of hours. Roman discipline extended beyond physical labor. It also governed how soldiers behaved within the camp once construction was completed. Guards were assigned to specific posts and expected to remain alert throughout their watches. Patrol schedules were strictly maintained. Equipment had to be stored in designated locations. Commanders conducted inspections to ensure that standards were being followed. Any failure to perform assigned duties could result in severe punishment. These rules helped maintain order and prevented the carelessness that often led to disaster in military campaigns. The effectiveness of this disciplined system became particularly clear during times of crisis. Armies operating in hostile territory constantly faced the threat of surprise attacks. Enemy warriors might emerge from forests, hills, or darkness without warning. Yet Roman camps provided a strong defensive position that could be occupied immediately if danger appeared. Because the camps were built according to standardized designs, every soldier knew exactly where to go and how to respond. This familiarity reduced panic and increased the army's ability to defend itself under pressure. Enemies frequently underestimated the importance of these daily routines. Many tribal leaders viewed camp construction as unnecessary labor that exhausted soldiers. However, the Romans understood that preparation today could save countless lives tomorrow. While opponents relied on courage and improvisation, Roman forces relied on systems developed through experience and discipline. The camp was not merely a place to sleep. It was a critical component of Rome's military strategy, providing security, organization, and confidence wherever the legions traveled. The remarkable achievement of building a massive fortress in only a few hours was therefore not the result of superhuman strength or advanced technology. It was the product of thousands of disciplined soldiers working together according to a proven system. Every ditch dug, every stake driven into the ground, and every wall raised reflected years of training and unwavering commitment to duty. The fortress stood as visible proof that discipline was not simply one of Rome's strengths but one of the most powerful weapons ever wielded by the ancient world. When people imagine a Roman soldier, they often picture a man standing in formation with a shield in one hand and a sword in the other. Popular images of the Roman legions focus heavily on combat, discipline, and battlefield victories. Yet this image tells only part of the story. A Roman legionary was much more than a warrior. He was also a laborer, a builder, an engineer, and a craftsman capable of transforming raw landscapes into organized military strongholds. This unique combination of skills helped Rome achieve military successes that many other ancient civilizations could only dream of accomplishing. From the moment a recruit entered military service, he was introduced to a world where construction and engineering were considered essential military duties. Roman commanders understood that armies could not survive on combat skills alone. Soldiers needed shelter, roads, bridges, fortifications, and defensive positions. Because military campaigns often took place hundreds or even thousands of miles from Roman cities, the army had to create its own infrastructure wherever it traveled. As a result, every soldier was trained to perform tasks that today might be associated with professional engineers or construction workers. The equipment carried by Roman legionaries reflected these expectations. Alongside weapons and armor, soldiers often transported tools necessary for building projects. Picks, shovels, axes, hammers, ropes, and wooden stakes were common parts of military equipment. Carrying such heavy loads added to the physical burden of daily marches, but Roman commanders believed the benefits outweighed the inconvenience. These tools allowed the army to construct defenses immediately upon reaching a destination, reducing dependence on local resources and increasing flexibility during campaigns. Building temporary camps became one of the most important engineering responsibilities assigned to Roman soldiers. At the end of a long march, work began almost immediately. Surveyors and engineers measured the ground and marked the camp's layout. Soldiers then divided into teams responsible for specific construction tasks. Some dug deep defensive ditches around the perimeter, while others moved earth to create protective embankments. Additional groups prepared timber, sharpened stakes, and erected wooden walls. The process followed standardized designs that could be repeated efficiently across different regions and environments. Roman engineering skills extended far beyond simple camp construction. During military campaigns, soldiers frequently built roads that allowed armies to move supplies and reinforcements quickly. These roads often crossed difficult terrain, including forests, marshes, mountains, and rocky landscapes. Legionaries cleared obstacles, leveled surfaces, and created durable pathways capable of supporting large numbers of troops. Many Roman roads were so well constructed that portions survived for centuries after the empire itself had disappeared. Bridges represented another area where Roman soldiers demonstrated remarkable engineering ability. Rivers posed significant challenges for ancient armies. Crossing large bodies of water could delay campaigns and expose troops to enemy attacks. Roman soldiers learned how to construct temporary and permanent bridges using locally available materials. In some cases, entire bridge systems were assembled with astonishing speed. Historical accounts describe Roman forces building large river crossings that allowed thousands of troops, animals, and supply wagons to pass safely into enemy territory. Siege warfare further showcased the engineering talents of Roman legionaries. When confronting fortified cities, soldiers often became builders of complex military machines and structures. They constructed siege towers, battering rams, protective shelters, ramps, and earthworks designed to overcome enemy defenses. These projects required careful planning, teamwork, and technical knowledge. Roman soldiers could spend weeks constructing massive siege systems that gradually tightened the pressure on defenders trapped behind city walls. The efficiency of Roman military engineering depended heavily on organization and specialization. Although every soldier received basic construction training, certain units possessed advanced expertise in surveying, architecture, carpentry, and engineering design. These specialists guided larger workforces composed of ordinary legionaries. Because military operations relied on standardized procedures, projects could be completed quickly even in unfamiliar environments. Every man understood his role, reducing confusion and increasing productivity during large-scale construction efforts. The ability to build wherever they went gave Roman armies enormous strategic advantages. Instead of depending on existing infrastructure, they created their own. A hostile river became a bridge crossing. An open field became a fortified camp. A rugged wilderness became a road network. This adaptability allowed Roman forces to operate in regions where other armies might struggle to survive. Engineering transformed obstacles into opportunities and enabled Rome to project power across vast distances. To enemies observing from nearby hills or forests, the sight of Roman soldiers at work must have been astonishing. Men who fought fiercely in battle could also construct walls, roads, bridges, ditches, towers, and fortresses with incredible efficiency. They were not separate groups of warriors and builders. They were the same individuals performing both roles. Every shovel of earth moved, every timber raised, and every defensive wall completed demonstrated that Roman military strength came not only from weapons and tactics but from the remarkable engineering abilities possessed by the ordinary legionaries who marched beneath the banners of Rome. For the Roman army, a fortified camp was far more than a place to sleep after a long day's march. It was one of the most important tools of warfare ever developed in the ancient world. While many armies relied on natural terrain or temporary shelters for protection, Roman commanders insisted on constructing defensive camps almost every single day. This practice required enormous effort, but it provided benefits that repeatedly proved their value during centuries of military campaigns. The camp became an extension of the army itself, a carefully organized fortress that traveled wherever the legions went. Roman military campaigns often took soldiers deep into unfamiliar and hostile territory. They marched through dense forests, crossed mountain ranges, entered deserts, and advanced into lands controlled by enemy tribes and kingdoms. In such environments, danger could appear at any moment. An army resting in the open was vulnerable to surprise attacks, nighttime raids, and ambushes. Roman commanders understood these risks better than most. By constructing fortified camps every evening, they greatly reduced the chances of their soldiers being caught unprepared while resting. The defensive ditch surrounding a Roman camp was one of its most important features. Soldiers dug deep trenches around the perimeter to create an obstacle that attackers would struggle to cross quickly. Even a determined enemy force would be slowed by the ditch, giving Roman defenders valuable time to react. The earth removed during excavation was piled inward to create an elevated embankment. This combination of ditch and rampart formed the first layer of protection and made direct assault significantly more difficult. Above the embankment, Roman soldiers erected wooden palisades using sharpened stakes they carried during their marches. These walls created an additional barrier between the army and potential attackers. The palisade was designed to discourage surprise assaults and channel enemy movements toward controlled entry points. From behind these defenses, Roman soldiers could observe approaching threats while maintaining a strong defensive position. Even relatively small camps could become formidable obstacles for hostile forces attempting a sudden attack. The protection of military supplies was another critical reason fortified camps were so important. An army depended on food, weapons, medical equipment, clothing, tools, and countless other resources. Losing these supplies could cripple an entire campaign. Roman camps provided secure storage areas where essential materials could be organized and guarded. Wagons, animals, and stockpiles of provisions were kept inside the camp's defenses, reducing the risk of theft, destruction, or capture by enemy raiders operating nearby. The structured layout of Roman camps also contributed greatly to military effectiveness. Camps followed standardized designs that placed roads, command areas, barracks, storage sections, and gates in predictable locations. Every soldier knew exactly where his unit was stationed and where he should go in an emergency. If an attack occurred during the night, there was little confusion. Troops could move rapidly to defensive positions because the layout remained familiar regardless of where the camp was constructed. Morale played an important role as well. Soldiers who knew they would spend the night behind strong defenses felt more secure and confident. Military campaigns often involved long periods of uncertainty, harsh weather, and constant threats from enemy forces. The sight of a completed camp at the end of a difficult march reassured legionaries that they had a safe place to rest. This sense of security helped maintain discipline and readiness, ensuring that soldiers could recover their strength before facing the next day's challenges. Fortified camps also served as operational centers for military planning. Commanders used them as headquarters where they could gather intelligence, hold meetings, organize logistics, and prepare future operations. Messages could be received and dispatched efficiently within the protected environment of the camp. Officers had the space and security necessary to coordinate troop movements and evaluate enemy activity. This organizational advantage often allowed Roman armies to respond more effectively to changing circumstances on the battlefield. Many enemies found Roman camps intimidating. Tribal warriors and opposing armies frequently observed how quickly these fortifications appeared after a Roman force arrived in an area. A location that had been an empty field in the afternoon could become a heavily defended military base before nightfall. This display of organization and discipline often had a psychological effect on opponents. It demonstrated that the Romans were prepared, methodical, and difficult to surprise, qualities that discouraged reckless attacks and increased Rome's reputation for military professionalism. Throughout the history of the Roman Empire, fortified camps repeatedly proved their value during campaigns across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. They protected soldiers from sudden assaults, safeguarded critical supplies, improved organization, strengthened morale, and provided commanders with secure bases of operation. Every ditch dug, every wall raised, and every gate constructed contributed directly to the effectiveness of the Roman military machine, allowing the legions to maintain their strength and continue operating successfully far from the heart of Rome. The rise of Rome from a small city-state on the Italian peninsula to one of the largest empires in human history did not happen by accident. It was not the result of a single brilliant general, a powerful weapon, or a fortunate series of victories. Rome's expansion was built upon a foundation of preparation that touched every aspect of military and political life. Roman leaders understood that success was rarely achieved by reacting to events as they occurred. Instead, they believed in preparing for challenges long before those challenges appeared. This mindset became one of the defining characteristics of Roman civilization and played a central role in its remarkable achievements. Roman military commanders placed enormous importance on planning. Before armies marched into unfamiliar territory, extensive preparations were made. Supplies had to be gathered, routes had to be mapped, equipment had to be inspected, and troops had to be organized. Every detail received careful attention because Roman leaders knew that neglecting small matters could lead to catastrophic consequences. An army that ran out of food, lost communication, or became disorganized could quickly find itself facing defeat. Preparation reduced uncertainty and increased the likelihood of success in even the most difficult campaigns. Training represented another crucial element of Rome's commitment to preparation. Roman soldiers did not wait until battle to learn how to fight. They spent countless hours practicing combat techniques, marching long distances, and performing military exercises. Recruits repeated drills over and over until their actions became instinctive. Commanders wanted soldiers who could respond immediately under pressure without hesitation or confusion. This constant preparation ensured that Roman armies remained effective even when facing dangerous and unpredictable situations. The construction of fortified camps perfectly illustrated Rome's belief in preparing for future threats. At the end of each day's march, soldiers invested significant effort into building defensive positions. To some observers, this work may have seemed unnecessary, especially when no enemy was visible nearby. Yet Roman commanders understood that danger often appeared without warning. By constructing camps before an attack occurred, they ensured that their soldiers would have protection if trouble arrived during the night. This proactive approach repeatedly saved lives and strengthened military security. Roman engineering projects also reflected the empire's dedication to preparation. Roads, bridges, forts, and supply depots were built not only for immediate needs but also for future campaigns. A road constructed today could support troop movements years later. A bridge spanning a river could simplify military operations across an entire region. These investments required time and resources, but they created long-term advantages that allowed Rome to expand and maintain control over vast territories. Preparation became an ongoing process rather than a temporary measure. Logistics formed another area where Roman preparation set them apart from many rivals. Moving and supplying large armies across great distances was an enormous challenge in the ancient world. Roman officials developed systems to store food, transport equipment, and distribute resources efficiently. Supply chains were carefully organized to ensure that soldiers received what they needed regardless of where they were stationed. By preparing these logistical networks in advance, Rome enabled its armies to remain active for extended periods far from home. The Roman military also benefited from standardized procedures that reduced confusion during operations. Camps followed predictable layouts, units were organized according to established structures, and soldiers received consistent training. Because everyone understood the system, armies could adapt quickly to changing circumstances. New recruits could integrate more easily into existing units, and commanders could coordinate large numbers of troops with greater efficiency. This standardization was itself a form of preparation, creating stability and reliability throughout the military. Preparation extended beyond the battlefield and into governance. Roman administrators collected information about conquered territories, monitored potential threats, and developed strategies for maintaining order. Fortresses were positioned at key locations, garrisons were established along frontiers, and communication networks connected distant provinces. These measures helped Rome respond rapidly to unrest or invasion. Rather than waiting for problems to escalate, Roman authorities sought to anticipate challenges and address them before they became serious threats. One reason Rome's approach proved so effective was that preparation created confidence. Soldiers who trusted their training performed better under pressure. Commanders who knew their supplies were secure could focus on strategy. Citizens who lived behind defended borders felt safer and more stable. This confidence strengthened the empire from within. While enemies often relied on courage and determination alone, Rome combined those qualities with systems designed to maximize effectiveness and minimize unnecessary risks. The ability to prepare thoroughly for both expected and unexpected challenges became one of the empire's greatest strengths. Every road built, every soldier trained, every camp constructed, and every supply depot established represented an investment in future success. Rome's leaders recognized that victories were often decided long before battles began, through careful planning, disciplined execution, and constant readiness for whatever lay ahead. The empire's enduring power rested not merely on what its armies accomplished in moments of conflict, but on the countless preparations made beforehand that allowed those accomplishments to become possible.